Welcome to the first token holder briefing of 2025. This is going to be a slightly different one than the previous token holder briefings. We're going to have a quick recap of 2024 and talk about overall strategy and goals for this year as you requested. So who's going to be participating and presenting today is going to be me. I'm going to talk about goals and overall strategy. Then you're going to hear from Mike Brink, who is going to talk about our product roadmap and some of the deliverables that already hit the market, watch this space. And then Misha Lederman will close with marketing and community update. And wait till the end. There will be some dates and numbers that you definitely want to know if you want to stay close to us as a project. So what have we learned at high level in 2024? That market continues to focus on short-term narratives. We've seen dogs, hats, and kind of a lot of different things hitting the market. However, what we're observing is capital allocators and projects, as you can see in that radar, are starting to focus more and more on consumer crypto and mass adoption. This is becoming a really, really big thing and very, very fast. Key to consumer or to mass market adoption is building on the mobile and using AI and chain abstraction in order to deliver user experience and products that are irresistible, simple, beautiful, and do not require a PhD to use. We also learned in 2024 that building extremely simple products is hard. An example of that is 111. that has taken quite a lot longer than we originally anticipated. And we've done some adjustments and changes in the way we organize ourselves and we organize our work and we set our goals in order to make sure that we are moving a heck of a lot faster in 2025. And I'm going to take you through high level strategy and plan for this year in just a second. And last but not least is we want to make sure that we involve you more and we have more frequent iterations with you and discussing with you what we're launching and getting your feedback as fast as possible to make sure that we are moving in a very, very agile fashion. Now, what is consumer crypto and why is it so crucial for mass adoption? Obviously, we know that we're in an infrastructure bubble. There are so many chains. And the next big thing is actually building products that are getting adopted by billions of people. And thesis for this mass adoption is very simple. First, it has to be on the mobile. Second, it has to be chainless. You need to be focusing on assets, not on chains, not on bridges, not on the technical stuff that is really taking a lot of time from both noobs and degens. Everything needs to work like magic and across every chain that you're interested in. And we also need to focus on active users, not TVL. When we're focusing on TVL, it takes us in the wrong direction. And we as a business are very, very clearly realizing that and putting scale of active users left, right, and center as our priority. Last but not least, recent AI advancements are clearly showing that there is huge potential of simplifying your experience and delivering a lot better service if we are building on these AI advancements. And you're going to hear quite a lot about that when Mike is talking about our product roadmap. Now, how do we deliver this in 2025? What you see is a combination of goal setting, a little bit of recap of 2024 and where we are on some of these metrics, and also plan for execution and delivery across three big streams. So what is our North Star? And it took some time for us as a business to really hone down and focus on this. We've defined our North Star is the value of your active day. Effectively, it is the value of 10,000 steps expressed in US dollars, which means that it's 10,000 steps divided by minting difficulty and multiplied by sweat price. Why does it matter? Because the more valuable the physical activity is, the more people are engaged, the more you are moving, and the closer and the faster movement economy is emerging as a result. And we are becoming a default, the biggest consumer crypto application. This is since we started tracking this metric. It's a very challenging metric. And this is the reason why this is the first time that we're really talking about it. Because as you can see, the value of an active day is getting constantly pushed down because we have an increased minting difficulty. However, since we started tracking it in middle of last year, we are keeping it flat, which, given the fact that the market hasn't been particularly kind, is actually an incredibly good result. Now, what are the drivers of this North Star? First area is, of course, product, Sweat Wallet. And there are three big buckets that Mike and teams working on the product are going to be delivering on. The first one is scale. As I mentioned, this is absolutely critical for us as a business if we want to be consumer crypto, if we want to be the biggest on-ramp from Web 2 to Web 3. And the good news is that if we are tracking from roughly that same period in the middle of last year, the MOAU, monthly on-chain active users, are on the uptrend. The second huge area is to deliver Sweat utility, the value for your Sweat, the reasons for you to use your Sweat. And here, the measure of success is actually how many tokens are emitted versus how many tokens are leaving the market. And you've heard this before, but this is actual extract from our looker, what you can see is that we have a lot of periods of time when we're able to really be deflationary as a business. And this is hugely different from a lot of other projects that you've seen in move to earn area that cannot really control their emissions. So we as a business are focusing on scale and delivering sustainable token economics. And last but not least for the product is revenues. Why do revenues and profitability matter? We know that a lot of projects in Web3 are not talking about revenues, are not talking about profitability, and we believe it is a big mistake. And the reason for it is if you go back to our original commitment to you as a community, we will be spending at least 50% of our profit on buybacks. And we know that those work. So revenue is a path to profitability, and profitability will deliver those buybacks that we definitely want to kick in as soon as we can. And one of the teams, and we have 3 product teams, will be focusing hell for leather on delivering revenue. The second big area is marketing, building strong narratives. And we've identified, based on conversations with you, 3 areas that really matter to you and that we need to address. The first one is you're asking a lot of questions about sustainability of our tokenomics. Those of you present here and watching this, you've seen already some evidence that we are really focusing on sustainability and we're delivering really, really good results there. But we need to communicate it better. We need to go out in town to really make people aware that we as a project are very, very different from a lot of other projects that have entered into death spiral and were not able to deliver sustainable long-term token economics. The second big area is AI assistant and chain abstraction, what I refer to as cornerstones of simple, beautiful, magic-like consumer crypto proposition. And we are using AI, and there's a lot of work happening already right now to start delivering on your personal AI assistant to make your life in Web3 and in crypto world as easy and seamless as possible. And of course, we're building on Near's chain abstraction to make sure that you can use Sweat Wallet across any chain, have real secure and reliable experience, and most importantly, to be able to pay with your sweat for any action you take on any chain. We are planning to make Sweat into a universal gas token, not just a gas token on Near. And it is big addition to token utility. Last but not least, in marketing, is consumer crypto narrative that is becoming inevitable and recognized by everybody. And of course, movement economy. Those of you that are tracking project closely know that we've done a lot of work to come up with estimates on the value of your physical activity. And the difference between what market is paying right now, 1.2 cents for 10,000 steps, and where the economic value of this activity is already is staggering. And the only thing that we need to do is to continue build on this message, make more people and industry players aware to close this gap over time. Last but not least is Treasury, which is a part of our business that is facilitating or helping making Sweat available as far and wide as possible, and also controlling tokenomics and making sure that tokenomics are sustainable. So 2 things happened in 2024. There were a lot of listings on exchanges, notably Bitvavo, that is probably not the top tier exchange and you've heard of. However, is actually very much retail focused exchange that is focusing on the mobile. And we're seeing an awful lot of activity and engagement from this exchange. And we're very, very happy that they made a decision to add Sweat to their roster. This year, we're going to continue these initiatives and you will see a lot more listings as, as we announce them. We'll also be adding DEX pools on other chains as we are abstracting other chains and we're able to offer you experience there. And of course, work with a lot more on-ramps than we are able to do right now that are not necessarily supporting near natively. Last but not least is we do need to talk about community voted burns, because you've seen a few days ago that there were 50 million sweat burned. This is all based on your voting, but this is the first time that you'll see this. This is a circulating supply of sweat over the period of nearly 2 years. And as you can see, we are actually now having fewer sweat as in circulating supply than we were in July 2023. It is a pretty incredible result, and we definitely aim to continue delivering on this. Now, what we're going to see now is presentation from Mike and then Misha on how we are going to be closing this humongous gap between 1.2 cents for 10,000 steps and 620, which is the estimate that you have given to us. For those that might remember, academic consensus was actually at $3.96. Even if you go for academic consensus, we're still talking about nearly 400x difference between where the market values your physical activity right now and the actual economic value created by you being active. And in order to close this gap, we'll continue to focus on scale, on sweat utility, and on revenue that will make us profitable and will kick in buybacks that will sustain over long term. Now, over to you, Michael.
That's a great intro. Thank you, Oleg. Let me continue the presentation where you kicked off. Right. So to build on this reflection from 2024 to 2025, and just for those that may have joined the stream a little bit late, hi, I'm Michael, and I'm head of product at Sweat, and I'm going to take you through what we're doing, deep diving a little bit into Q1 and sharing a bit more about what's coming for the rest of 2025. But in order to understand why we're building what we're building now, let's just spend a couple minutes looking at why we started building what we did in this past year. So the first one, in the effort of making Sweat a universal gas token, giving it interchain operability, we started by launching Sweat as gas on Near, and everyone in the wallet would be very comfortable with that little drawer that pops open that quotes you on a gas fee in Sweat, and you can pay it. Prior to that, we were running a very unsustainable tokenomic model by funding transactions on Near, and we were doing that to give our users a bit of grace as they were getting used to the concept of what it even means to transact on chain. And why there is a fee and how transactions need to be powered and secured to move an asset from one address to the other. Now that's possible through Sweat. And that went live around about July 2024. Then in the effort of, or should I say the plan of introducing personalized AI agents to users in 2025, we started off with something that's a little bit more easy to digest, and that's providing a response across 3 different models to users. And that was introduced in the form of Sweat AI, where users could simply ask a question, get 3 responses back from 3 different models, and they could compare them and rate them and so on. It was very much an experiment. To date, we had just under 500,000 users ask just over 600,000 questions to Sweat AI, which returned 3 responses. We then wanted to double down on the untapped network provided by Telegram as a social network, and we did that in the form of introducing a new GameFi experience, which is called Snack a Leg. It's still live right now, and we coupled that with a referral program so that users could earn Sweat in the form of varying amounts of steps, which converts to Sweat when they claim it. And that allowed users to onboard onto what we coined Sweat Wallet Lite or Sweat Lite, which was our Telegram mini app version of Sweat Wallet. They could connect their wallet, and if they wanted to claim those points, those steps that convert to Sweat, they could do that straight out of Telegram by redirecting back into Sweat Wallet. And we've had a pretty good start to Sweat Lite. We have just under 500,000 users that have linked their wallet with a mini app, and we have around 240,000 monthly active users on Telegram.
Amazing.
That has, yeah, it's been great, because the thing that we're chuffed about is the fact that these are all human verified users. There are no bots. Part of the process of linking your account is verifying that you're human by us detecting verified steps in the form of blockchains. So those are just under 500,000 verified human beings, no bots, that live on Sweat Lite, which we're super chuffed about. And we'll talk about how to scale referral programs across all other platforms in 2025. Oleg touched on the academic research and getting a crowdsourced response to what you all say an active day is worth, coupled to what a couple of academic institutions believe the value of an active day is or should be, by taking a more scientific or academic approach. And that was a great start to understanding what the opportunity is for token holders that currently can pin a price, a value on 10,000 steps. And then finally, we continue to do DAO votes. For those new users that may have joined recently, DAO stands for Decentralized Autonomous Organization. And what we do at Sweat Foundation is, every time there is a governance style decision that needs to be made, particularly around tokenomics, we put the question forward to the community, we take a vote, and if the vote reaches quorum, we execute on the outcome of that vote. As an example, the most recent vote, which was voted in favor for, was that of changing the minting step range for Sweat from 0 to 5,000 steps to 3 to 10,000 steps. And that's assuming that you're not on premium, which is quite a bit more. And the obvious change there is users who walk past the qualification threshold, which is 3,000, have a 7,000 step ability to mint Sweat versus previously, which was just capped at 5,000, which means inactive users earn less, and users who walk a bit more have the ability to earn more. And that also reduced emissions by 30%, which was great. So we'll continue to do that. We don't want to move away from that model. We like having a pretty consistent record now of approaching the community with impactful decisions such as those. Okay, a couple ones that was either not gotten to or shelved for various reasons or in progress is multi-chain, the 111, which we'll chat about for 2025. Sweat Pay, which I think Oleg, in the last token holder briefing we mentioned, is very dependent on finding the right banking partner and finding the correct cost point to make it affordable and accessible for users to spend their crypto on some form of a debit card. And then Sweat Euro
also cannot be really implemented without multi-chain for a variety of reasons. So
correct.
What we've done was we assumed that 111 will happen a heck of a lot faster, and then we would deliver Sweat Pay and a lot of other things on top of it. And given how challenging 111 is as a technology, how new it is and how much testing is involved, we realized that it had significant knock-on effect on some other deliverables that we talked about. So 111 is by far the biggest and the most important priority for us. AI assistant is number 2.
Correct.
Sorry.
And we'll... No, that's great. That's great context. Thanks, Oleg. We'll just to go into what we've already released in January of 2025. 2 features, step jars and magic keys. One thing we did last year, it wasn't on the previous slide, kind of just trying to elevate the bigger bets here, was changing the logic of onboarding to allow users who are having difficulty managing their seed phrases by linking with a social account, Apple or Google, and via that token, if you want to use that word, they can access their wallet, so that they don't have to worry about recovering lost seed phrases, storing them. Recovering your account with Sweat Wallet will be the same as recovering any account that you've OAuthed with Google, for instance, or Apple, or your Apple ID. What we've done now in January is we've extended that to backfit that for all existing users. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you go into Sweat Wallet now and you go into your top left profile pic and you go into security, you'll see a new tab that it allows you to set up a magic key association with Sweat Wallet. You can do that in addition to already having a seed phrase. And if you log out, you can log back in now just by scanning your Face ID, as long as you've got the necessary biometric set up on your mobile phone. So that's something that a lot of users asked for. It's now available as of this year for not just for all new users, but for existing users as well, which is fantastic. And we'll talk about progressive security, but you can also now link and delink seed phrases in addition to having a magic key set up. We're just getting that out of A/B testing, but that's coming soon. All right. The other feature is step jars. I think there's a slide for each of these that I can go into more. And step jars are the first time, and I know this is a recording, so my colleagues should correct me if I'm wrong here, but it's the first time that I've seen in the history of the world that a user can use their body to determine the growth of a locked asset. The first time ever that is possible, that you can actually take full ownership for actively impacting the rewards you get for locking up an asset, in this case, Sweat in a jar. And that's what step jars are. So, in fact, why don't I go to the slide where there's a bit more detail?
We really did flip the narrative from passive income to truly active income. And I think this is a phenomenal fit with our strategy, but also testament to ability to deliver really, really challenging tech, because, architecturally and technologically, this is incredibly difficult. But this means that you can earn 20% APY. All you have to do is walk a lot. So you're earning when you're walking, but you also determine your active income on locked Sweat on the base of your steps. So making you physically active creates an awful lot of value, and we're capturing it for you and building movement economy.
Quite right. Quite right, Oleg. I'm going to give you a quick summary of that. I just want to make sure I missed nothing around the magic keys. I don't think so. I've mentioned that.
Can I just add something on the magic keys? It's probably easy to overlook how important it is. But since we're launched, if you were to go through our support desk, probably more than 90% of all support queries were related to the fact that when people move to a different device, they want to go back into Sweat Wallet, and for one reason or another, they have misplaced their seed phrase or their private key, or lost that email that kind of was the key to their wallet. And it is incredibly disappointing experience for them, and as you can imagine, for us. So Magic Keys fixes that fundamental problem. Now, when you move to a new device, as long as you continue using that same Google account or that same Apple account, you will seamlessly regain control over your wallet and not lose any of the assets that were there. So this is phenomenally important for us, and I hope is a welcome news to all of you. I would really recommend, if you haven't done it yet, add Magic Key to your account to make sure that you're not falling foul of a potential loss of a device.
Yeah, and just to be clear, with one wallet, one key, one token, this isn't referring to your private key. It's your same private key. It's just another key to access your application. Okay, so
To recover it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Thank you, Mark.
Just a quick one here on step jars. In short, a bunch you are looking at this right now, and you're not taking your eyes off that 20%. So let me just quickly explain how this works. Your steps you took yesterday determine your earnings rate for today at a ratio of 1,000 steps for 1%, prorated per day to the third decimal. So the easiest is to give an example. If you walked 5,123 steps yesterday, then for whatever sweat you have in the stepper jar, you will earn 5.123% on that locked sweat today. It resets every night at midnight. And if there is a strange overlap for your steps that are submitted, if you were still walking at exactly 2,300 hours, 59, that will get carried over to the next possible walk chain submission. So you never lose out on the steps here. Yeah, I would encourage you guys. It's rolled out, so feel free to put some sweat into the stepper. It's the more you walk, the more you grow it. So it's your earnings are in your hands. You're going to see some interesting promotional things via partners and via Sweat Foundation that are going to come as couple-on products to step jars. I will maybe field some of those questions in the Q&A in the next briefing, I think around a week and a half from now. Finally, I just want to quickly jump ahead. Yeah, okay. Last slide from me from a product side. So we mentioned the three things that we are trying to achieve, which is scale and sweat utility, and then the third one, which might catch you as a surprise, is revenue. Yes, we are actually trying to become a profitable business, which sounds like sacrilege mentioning that in the Web3 world. But we are trying to do things the right way. We are trying to, as Oleg mentioned, have enough in the bank for buybacks. And the way we do that is by being intentional around building tech that not just gets adopted, but hits these three goals, if I can call it that. The one I'm just looking at the time here. I'm gonna hone in on one or two per category. The big play, guys, here in terms of scale is the personal AI assistant. It's almost a couple to guided onboarding, which in a nutshell just means we have a far smarter way of evaluating who downloads Sweat Wallet, where do they come from, and where do we want them to go next, as opposed to feeling completely left to yourself to discover Sweat Wallet, especially for crypto natives that just simply don't know what to do when they arrive in the wallet. The personal AI assistant removes the onus from us to try to expend all our user research resources in trying to figure out what people want. And I hardly ever use this word, but here it's appropriate. Take a passive approach. We can't hire one personal assistant per user. Our staff would shoot through the roof and we would not be able to communicate well. But AI agents scale infinitely. And these agents will be personalized to grow and to change and to adapt, whether it's language that you want to speak to in your agent, whether it's the time of day, whether it's trying to understand how far you are from minting just enough sweat to qualify for a certain prize, whether it's trying to figure out what is the best action you should be doing next in Sweat Wallet, or just trying to figure out whether a prompt or an address that you're sending money to is a safe address on chain, especially with 111 coming. Your agent can help you far better than what we ever could. And that's going to be the introduction of personal AI assistants or AI agents. I'm using those words interchangeably. And that lends to progressive security. So we've spoken about magic keys. We want to give users the ability to secure their accounts with cold storage devices, like a ledger drive, for instance, and decide to completely take some accounts off chain and authenticate manually with a hardware device. And excuse me, And actually AI plays a role in that as well. Thank you, Misha. And then we spoke about referral programs. So we have a referral program right now on Telegram, and we want to open that up to many channels. So similar scheme, but you're not constrained to using Telegram. Just if I was a token holder, I'd want to know what happened with 111. We had a demo, we had a recording, we were in Singapore. Guys, in short, when we build tech, we need to make sure that we don't build something that's dated 6 months down the line, especially in Web3. And so at the time that we were introducing the world to 111, we were also evaluating near intents. And near intents is basically a concept on near protocol which allows easy or frictionless transactions by allowing a user to post, to publish, to suggest an intent, and having what we call like third-party agents or solvers on near fulfill those actions on behalf of the user. This could be something like, I want to swap 100 sweat for near. Please do this for me as fast as possible at the best foreign exchange price with an optimal gas fee, and to ensure that it happens right now. And then these solvers help to facilitate that transaction. Now, because solvers are involved, it means things like relayers are involved, which are agents that are setting the gas fee in the destination chain, which is important for 111, because when you're sending ETH on BNB Smart Chain to a completely different address from your from your Sweat wallet address, you need agents to help you do that. Otherwise, you would be building a string of several operations on chain that all have to happen sequentially and hope nothing breaks. And when we realized that intents are the best way to build this, cheapest, most affordable, easiest interaction for users, we figured that's the way we need to go. And that's what we're building now. Should I say rebuilding now under 111. And then once 111 is built, we have the right technology in place.
It might be a great idea to explain 111 again, because we're really familiar with it, but what is 111 as
absolutely.
a concept?
Yes. Yeah, I forget that with about 17 to 22,000 new users registering and installing Sweat Wallet a day, even as I speak, probably about 50 people have just downloaded the wallet. So, or maybe
Mike, can you just repeat those numbers? Because those numbers are quite astronomical in Web3. So how many users roughly do we get per day into Sweat Wallet?
17 to 22,000 new users. Sometimes that jumps above the 25K mark per day. And on a bad day, it would be around the 15,000 new registrations a day mark. And so for everyone that since the last token holder briefing, 111 stands for one wallet, Sweat Wallet, one key, your private public key pair, your crypto address in Sweat Wallet, and one token is Sweat. And the reason that we couple these things together is because 111 is the introduction of introducing, we use the word abstracting 5 chains, which means we create interoperability between your address and your private key that signs any transactions for that address on any of these 5 chains we're abstracting. And the 5 chains are all EVM type chains or living in that family, and that's Ethereum, Mainnet, Base, Arbitrum, Optimism, and BNB. So those will be the ones that we start off with. And it means that in Sweat Wallet, you will also now be able to generate your very own 0x style address that's compatible with EVM to receive any deposits from those 5 chains and see them inside Sweat Wallet. And in the same way, you can send those assets or withdraw them or to any destination chain that's compatible with that ERC20 address. When you do that, you won't need to hold you won't have to hold ETH in your wallet to pay the gas fees. You'll be able to settle those gas fees with Sweat directly, which has nothing to do with Ethereum. As you know, Sweat is the native currency to Near's. Well, Sweat is our currency, but our token contract lives on Near, even though you can bridge it onto ERC20 and so on. So that's what 111 is. And then as we go on into the year, we'll abstract more chains. We've got a nice slide that shows this Sweat is our currency, but our token contract lives on Near, even though you can bridge it onto ERC20 and so on. So that's what 111 is. And then as we go on into the year, we'll abstract more chains. We've got a nice slide that shows this at the end. We wanted chainless infrastructure. We feel we made a great decision building on Near, but just because we made a great decision on building on Near doesn't mean we want to exclude access to really interesting dApps and financial products that live on various chains. We are chain agnostic, but we are user-centric. That's what we're after. That's the best experience you can possibly have. Unless, like me, you want to have a go at managing 20 plus different wallet key pairs and lose half of them, forget 10% and hope that what you have in the rest is still there. Okay, so that's what 111 is about.
And Mike, we're also hearing from Near Protocol that support for Solana and Ton also coming this year. So we are starting with 5 EVMs, but through the course of 2025, we should be able to support all major chains where, kind of consumer crypto is happening.
As well as Bitcoin native, I believe, Oleg?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So the goal is, if you look at CoinMarketCap, we want to at least be able to cover over 80% of the global crypto liquidity, or should I say, make it accessible through Sweat Wallet. Right. And now that you understand 111 and you understand why Sweat as gas is so important, and the use of Near intents, the progressive technology to build then, or in terms of a feature, is multi-chain on-ramping and multi-chain trade, which basically means you can access any dApp using your Sweat Wallet, or you can access Sweat Wallet or things that inside Sweat Wallet from another chain. And you can sign transactions through prompts that you get inside Sweat Wallet, even though it's a transaction to some destination address or some dApp that you've been interacting with. But you can also access currencies on different chains. So different assets on different chains, all out of Sweat Wallet. Okay, under a unified balance, under a unified portfolio where you can see your net worth in one place and not having to sort of count these things up and manually administer your own funds or net worth in crypto, if you want to use that language. And finally, we get to revenue. And one thing that I think a lot of people will be excited about is quests. I'm not going to expand too much on quests, because quests, I think everyone understands that one quite well. Quests are incentivized missions that you can complete in exchange for earning some form of asset. Okay? Whether this is an on-chain quest, you can imagine with 111, it means that you can tunnel into any dApp on any chain, complete a quest, and get rewarded in Sweat Wallet in any currency. Or they can be off-chain. They can be entirely off-chain as well. Go and do something on X and get a reward for doing that, as an example. So these are going to be more ways for you to get your hands on some crypto in the early, especially in the early stages of using the wallet. Then there's multi-chain rewards and quests. It's almost like an expansion of quests, multi-chain. Like everything we have becomes multi-chain when 111 is built. And then our endless endeavor to look for the right partnerships that grow and empower and amplify the movement economy. I'm going to let Misha chat a bit more about those in just a second. And I look forward to any product-related questions in a week or two from now. Misha, I think it's over to you.
Thank you, Mike. Let me share my screen.
Massive thanks, Mike.
Absolutely.
So, Misha Lederman, for anyone who don't know me, I am the CMO here at Sweat, and now we're going to walk through the major marketing initiatives and developments that are solidifying Sweat's position as a leader in the movement economy, but also, of course, in consumer crypto. Our message is simple and powerful. Sweat is not just a project. It's a global movement with tens of millions of users and an industry leader. And that is why it is so important to position us as an innovator and as a pioneer. One of the most valuable vessels to do this is through key partnerships. It establishes credibility and, of course, gives Sweat massive reach. We're leveraging strategic alliances to expand our impact. And the first to showcase that is, of course, a really big play in 2025, and that is our founding partnership with the Global Running League. It is all about bringing Sweat to the real world. Think of it as F1 of running on F1 tracks. It has never been done before. It is an entirely innovative, novel, and exciting idea. And these races will be broadcasted to tens of millions of households through televisions and, of course, digital platforms. And in extension, it will be giving Sweat massive exposure and positioning us as the true leaders in the movement economy. Some details, I can't speak too much, but in 2025, 4 races will be held, and in 2026, 12 races will be held. So that is something to definitely look forward to, and it is something that gives me a big smile every time I work on it and think about it, because our partners at GRL, Global Running League, are working extremely fast, and you'll be seeing fruits of that partnership very, very soon. Then let's move on to academic research, and here it's all about validating the movement economy. Phase 1 of our research is complete, with academic journals and peer-reviewed now validating the findings from University of Birmingham, University of Cadiz, Glasgow, and Blockchain Research Lab, the think tank. The value of an active day, according to Phase 1, the median was $3.96 per day, with a peak potential reaching above $6 per day. Here, it is all about having data-backed insights to make Sweat both valuable and credible. So that was Phase 1. We're not stopping there. Phase 2 in 2025, we're currently in discussions with Johns Hopkins University, Stanford University, University of Birmingham, and one of the world's most recognized and reputable think tanks. And we're aiming here for a deeper meta-analysis of the movement economy, its benefits, and even using our own anonymous step data to prove that financial incentives drive physical activity better than almost any other intervention. I believe that this is really what made Oleg so many years ago come up with the idea originally of Sweatcoin, and now the fulfillment of it in Sweat. And on the academic research, it is all about major validation and reaching policymakers at a very high level. So we aim to really shape global academic discourse around the value of movement. That is our goal with the Phase 1 and now Phase 2. Consumer crypto, the narrative that will eat 2025 alive. And that is where we're going to position ourselves as a leader. As you can see, we've had a 206% on-chain user growth in 2024. We started around 600,000 on-chain users. It is a metric that is very important to us, of course, living in Web3. And we had peaked around 1.9 million. That kind of growth really positions us at Sweat as a leader in consumer crypto, but our vision goes beyond just growth. The industry is in need of a shift from infrastructure to consumer-centric applications. And Sweat will lead that shift through events, major partnerships, sticky product features, and innovative user acquisition. Regarding our expansion plans, this is really what makes me excited to really get in every day into either the office or every other place that we might be attending an event. And the Web3 expansion of the movement economy is so invigorating because we are currently limited to the near ecosystem. It's been given us amazing things in terms of scalability, features that doesn't exist on other chains, very quick finality, extremely low fees, and of course the ability to expand through chain abstraction. So our expansion plans, as you can see here, is going into 8 major chains. We're talking about ETH, BNB, ARB, Optimism, and Base as EVMs, but we're also looking at Solana, Tron, Ton, and beyond. It is all about reaching other communities. And this kind of increased liquidity is, of course, to enhance our position and our growth among our token holders community. It's about getting people in Web3 excited about that we can tokenize movement, we can capture it, and it is something that becomes more valuable as the movement economy grows. And enhanced liquidity, growing our sweat holders base, and of course, deepening Web3 partnerships is ways to do this and achieve it. Strategy to actually achieve it will include official partnerships with blockchain foundations, joint events with major dApps around the world, of course, attending AMAs, podcasts, and PR campaigns, and deep integrations into chain-specific communities. Anyone who's been in Web3 for a few years or even a few months knows that it's a very tribal environment where there are many islands, and I believe what we're doing in Sweat is we are connecting these islands through the most simple user experience that will take Web3 and crypto by storm. It's all about dominance, not just expansion. In short, Sweat is building the movement economy at scale through impact, high impact partnerships, academic validation, user growth, and multi-chain expansion. 2025 is about scaling our vision and cementing our leadership. We're here to build for the future, one major step at a time. And with that,
Beautifully put.
Let us talk about next steps, because this is just about showcasing some of our plans for this year. But we're also going to have an AMA session for anyone who have any questions following this live briefing. It's going to be on Wednesday, the 19th of February at 3 p.m. Make sure to send any questions via the form here in the QR code, or of course in the Discord or Telegram communities. And we will be picking 5 of the best questions to get 500 sweat each. Oleg, Mike.
Are we picking those questions, or should we ask AI agent to pick the top questions?
Ooh. Yes, we actually have that AI assistant already running, and those in the office are having an awful lot of fun communicating with it. So, you know what? Let's give it a go. By the way, this AMA session for the 19th is exact response to the learnings from 2024, when you asked for more transparency and more involvement. We want you to digest this, take your time, form your questions, and then all 3 of us are going to be there for the AMA session. Anything goes, however tough, however detailed, just come in and challenge us. We want to build with you and for you. And as Misha said, I think that we are we've learned a lot in 2024 how to deliver some of the most challenging things. And talking about 111, which is, kind of one of the most exciting things for me. I know that by April, we are going to have something rolling out. This is definitely happening. It is not going to take forever like it did last time. And it is something that we are all focusing on hell for leather. And the most exciting thing is, if before we only were thinking about 111 as a sort of technology solution, the addition of AI is allowing us to go deeper and actually deliver such a user experience that before was inconceivable. But let's leave that for the next update. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Misha. Thank you very much, the whole Sweat Economy team. And I look forward to seeing you on the 19th.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys.